forest?
Fucking finally.
Something over there. A trap. This place is more dangerous than I thought.
The amount of fucking lockpicks I need, man.
Whatever comes, I'm ready. Let's get going.
Righty then, what's next?
Old idiot.
What could they accomplish? Ah, a visitor. You're a welcome sight. But let us observe the customs of the locals.
The scholar's brow tenses. His voice spills into your skull, the spores connecting mind to mind.
Blurg, proud member of the Society of Brilliance, at your service. Or perhaps not. Your mind is far more complex than that of the fungi. Understandable. We are small in number and rarely stay in one place for long. My colleagues and I are working to improve conditions in the Underdark. This need not be such a dire, hostile place. It's curious to find a surface dweller here. What has brought you down so deep? Truly remarkable. But why come to the Underdark, where they hold so much power? You were infected by an illithid tadpole? It's a miracle you're still intact. You must be worried sick, but have no fear. I have a friend who may be able to assist. Omelium!
I hope this is important, Blurg. My Zirkwood samples need constant attention.
It is. This adventurer has an illithid tadpole inside her head, but she hasn't turned.
No ceramorphosis. That's impossible, but intriguing. Are you looking to have it extracted?
Geich, your head will make a fine trophy for my queen.
Please hold. I understand your rage against my kin. One of my brethren forced a tadpole into your eye. Or ear, perhaps. But I assure you, I stand with the Society of Brilliance, not the colonies of my people.
Fool! They infest your head and invade your dreams, and still you would parley.
I ask only that you refrain from violence. I respect that your opinion of my kind may be charged. If that settles matters for the time being, would you like a diagnosis? Open your mind to me. Let us see what lurks within.
As the Meloan's mind pierces yours, the tadpole pulses with power. It feels 10 times its size. Alive, awake, almost smug.
This is most unusual. The incubation period should be complete, as should your transformation. But the larva is infused with strange magic. It appears to be in some form of stasis. No, it appears to be shielded from physical and magical influence. And even without the shield, the extraction would involve severe cranial trauma. It is not ideal. The process would surely kill you. But not to worry. Should you transform, I will happily perform a new examination. A Nautiloid? Fascinating. I have never set foot on one myself. They were our warships during the greatest eras of the Illithid Empire. We ruled the entire astral plane from their decks. The design was lost when the Gith rebelled and ended our dominion. Of course, I am sorry I cannot assist you in its removal. But I have an idea.
Oh, perhaps I should start taking notes.
There may be a way to bypass that stasis. There are many alchemical substances that can influence the mind. I do not intend to shatter its protection. I need only bypass the interference that prevents me from communicating with the lava. A tincture distilled from a collection of rare mushrooms. They have subtle psionic influence. I would require a fresh ton of madness and Timusk spores. But be warned, in their natural state, both of these mushrooms can be quite dangerous. Timusks cause confusion in those that approach them. The tongue is self-explanatory.
The Underdark, of course, although they are quite rare, and their discovery perilous. I imagine Lenore would have them in her possession. She served Mistra as a cleric. The southwest when I last saw her, although her tower does have a tendency to move. She is quite fond of her garden. Lenore has always been a lonely sort. Nature was her only companion. I offered her the chance to join the society, but she refused. Her experiments on Susa bark took priority.
May your travels be safe and swift.
Welcome back. Have you made any new discoveries? I do enjoy a good bargain, if anything in my private collection is to your liking. Very well.
Never seen anything like it, Blur. Is my species evolving?
You have my attention.
Perhaps.
Eager
But
for
at
battle.
such an accelerated rate?
Salutations.
It simply shouldn't be possible.
All's well that ends not as bad as it could have. Right tool will do the trick.
Vlaakith's will be done.
Have a lot on my mind. And, well... Time to get going. Bet that'll fit in my pack. Something good here, I hope.
I greet you, child of the sun. How has your search for the mushrooms fared? I was born with a propensity for arcane magic my people despise. It gave me the strength to resist the Elder Brain. Every waking hour I pushed back against its dire hold. My wizardry empowered me. The moment its control shattered, I fled. Before the colony discovered I had defected. In the beginning, I had an arrangement with a lich. Excellent company, despite what one would expect. I required brains, he required souls. A perfect symbiosis. But our ambitions eventually splintered. I wished to better the world, and he preferred its rot. So I left his company. And thus I now feed from those who act against the Society's goals. Perhaps the peoples of the Underdark will be less inclined to violence if they comprehend the cost, yes? These are fine specimens. It will only take me a moment to brew them to proper potency.
Omeluum turns away to prepare the potion, lost in its own musings.
You must drink the entire draught. I can make no promises as to its taste. It will lower the psionic defenses around the lava. If I cannot remove it, I may still be able to tell you more about its origin.
Omeluum watches you with cautious intensity. It expects doubt. It expects fear. The potion is disgusting beyond description. The only mercy is that it goes down quickly.
Not a drop left. Very good. As the potion influences your mind, you may find yourself acting irrationally. Try and stay focused.
The world loses its edges, its finer boundaries. You are fluid, but trapped like a creature suspended in amber. Drawing on a lifetime of practice, you center yourself. Your body is an anchor, implacable and calm. The tadpole spasms, seizes. It's fighting the potion even harder than you are. Fear pierces your mind like knives of ice. The parasite digs deeper, as if it needs to hollow out your skull. Cold blades lose their edge. You are stalwart, turning that tide of fear against itself. The parasite swells with power, more power than you have ever felt before. It surges and twists, lashing out against that which would dare to intrude. The parasite in your mind quiets, pleased with itself.
Omeluum, are you well?
That lava is like nothing I have ever observed before. Its power is unsettling. Such an outcome was not in my calculations. There is more to this being than mere stasis. Indeed. Although I may have another solution, albeit a temporary one. I possess a ring of mind shielding. It prevents elder brains from noticing my presence. It will not remove the lava, but it will limit its influence, both positive and negative. I would offer it as a gift, but in truth, the ring is priceless. Is there anything you could offer me in turn? Because removal seemed preferable to negation. And I must admit, I was curious to study the tadpole myself.
Fuck you.
Your conflict is with one I have never met. This ring protects me. I cannot surrender it for free. My research is in perpetual need of funding. Yes, I am willing to accept your coin. If you wish to acquire the ring later, you need only ask.
Have you spoken with Skris lately?
Yes, she is cataloging court fertility rituals.
Oh, well perhaps after I finish my research here, I'll join her.
Greetings. What knowledge do you seek? What shall you offer in exchange? My research is in perpetual need of funding. Yes, I am willing to accept your coin. May it serve you as well as
Just to
it has
finish the
served
quest,
me.
why not?
To deal with this abomination, nigh unthinkable. Yet even Vlaakith herself could not deny the ring's merit.
Of course, the lava remains. Be ever vigilant of its growth. I have never seen anything like it, Blur. Is my species evolving?
Perhaps, but at such an accelerated rate.
It simply shouldn't be possible.
How is your more personal research progressing?
Not well. The nutrition my species receives from other minds is difficult to emulate.
Worry not, friend. You'll find the key soon enough.
Well, I do want to buy something from Volo, but apparently he just does disappear from the camp. That's stupid.
Have you spoken with Skris lately?
Yes, she is cataloguing coital and fertility rituals.
Oh, well perhaps after I finish my research here, I'll join her.
Let's get back, have a quick look.
What to do?
Well, my day just improved. Did you want something? Very serious of you. But go ahead. Even if I could remember, I'm not sure I'd tell you. I don't want your ego to get overinflated.
Apparently I can also buy it in the Shattered Sanctum, wherever that is. Let's go after something else instead, eh?
Hope this ends well. cautious. Watch how you go. There's a trap. A long way to go still.
One with the weave.
Eager for battle. Proceeding.
All right. What now? Watch how you go. There's a trap. Step carefully. There's a trap.
What am I to do? Have to keep pushing.
At the ready. Adventure awaits.
Indolence breeds madness.
Never a dull moment.
What's next?
Directly. It shall be done.
Action, not reaction. Quickly then.
Can't give up now.
What's next, I wonder? This way.
Your desire. May it please Mistress.
Blacketh's will be done.
Is that blood? These boots have seen everything. Let's have a look.
The air is ripe with magic.
I can keep going a little longer now.
No one back home will ever believe this. Something tore right through these people. They didn't stand.
The beast reeks of brimstone and offal. Every breath is thick with blood. You hear what comes next before you see it. The sharp snapping of bones and a yelp of pain as her body starts to twist and undulate. You watch with cold realization. This isn't the end of one life, but the start of another. Gnolls, vicious, monstrous humanoids can spawn from the corpses of dying hyenas.
Fuck off.
Strike
Oh, you
quickly, but
fucking
not quickly
kidding me.
enough.
2 ones.
She shrieks, thrashing helplessly. Her belly splits like a rotten fruit, birthing a frenzy of claws and fangs.
May the gods take you first.
Need to act fast. Onward. I am fury. I am death. On the move.
Nice.
The lance board is set. Good move.
Place is overrun with gnolls.
Vile beasts. Nothing good is born from a corpse.
Let's not stand around. The smell spilled blood a mile away.
Wish I had a bag of holding.
Cut it out. How about a dragon? Would that worry you?
I'd give it a bloody good fight, that's for sure.
At ease, friend. You're welcome to rest here.
Who's there? Please, keep your distance.
You're welcome to shelter here, but we've grave injuries to tend to. A toll house, once upon a time. Now a house of respite for those of us burned by a devil. We are paladins of Tyr, Lord of Justice. He sent us after an infernal being, straight out of the Nine Hells, hiding in the form of a one-horned tiefling. She slaughtered countless refugees fleeing the Absolute. Yesterday, she butchered an entire family without mercy. We were lucky to survive our encounter with her.
This could be the work of a devil, but they collect souls through cunning, not carnage.
She ran toward the river when she saw we were merely wounded, not dead. Down the hill from here. She must pay for her crimes. If you capture her, you will have served Tyr where we could not.
This is the sword of justice, blessed by Tyr. I've wielded it since I swore my oath.
It's all I have, but it's yours if you stop her. Bring me her head, and Tyr will consider her crimes repaid. May the just God guide you.
One horn. This is the devil you've been tasked to kill.
Me! Never been better. Well, fuck me. It's you, from the Nautiloid. Please tell me I found you before those so-called paladins of Tyr did. Nice of you to ask. Lately, I've gotten used to being called Devil. No follow-up questions. The truth is, well, it's a long story, and I'll tell it, but...
A great heat roars through you. Her heat, fiery as the hells. Then you're lost in visions of demonic armies as you tear through a landscape of fire and blood. The Blood War. You saw it from above as the Nautiloid passed through Avernus. This woman was on the front line.
What was that? Fuck's sake. Mountains as far as the eye can see. Guess that explains the voices. From that peak I got into your head, you've made some inroads trying to get the thing sorted. But alas, no joy. I'm Karlak. And you are... Well met, soldier. Now that we're old pals, how would you feel about helping me kill some evil bastards? A little background, if your moral compass needs something to point at. You already know I fought in the Blood War. I was good at killing demons. Really good. So good, Zariel, the archdevil herself, made me her personal attack dog. I played along until I could get the fuck out of there. Took me 10 years to properly escape, but now I'm free. Zariel sent goon after goon to hunt me down. But believe me when I tell you, I'm not going. The latest yappy little dogs she sicked on me are nearby. A group of dopes posing as paladins of Tyr. Want to help me take them down? Fuck yes. They cornered me outside the toll house just up the hill. Doubt they've gone far after the scorching I gave them. After we've mopped them up, we can work on evicting this parasite and take Faerun by the short hairs. Sound good?
I like her. She looks like she could throw me over her shoulder and carry me to safety. Should the need arise.
Now, Shadowheart.
I'd hug you if it wouldn't scorch your skin off. You know I'm up for it, but your party's a little full.
Just for this battle, maybe? Nah.
I'll catch up with you when it's time to camp for now. But don't get to any of the fun stuff without me. Got it?
Should I swap to her for this battle? I might do. Think instead of Gale. Then I'll bring you back in afterwards.
Looks like your troops all trooped up. You'll need to send someone packing if you want me to join. Let's hop. Damn, it's good to be alive.
whole plain reeks of it.
That'll wake you up of a fine day, won't it?
I do not need awakening. My senses are sharp as steel.
You brought her here. We won't survive another assault. Leave us in peace, and we shall leave you in kind.
Cut the crap, Anders. I know what you are.
Don't let her hurt us. Please. We just want to go home.
There's something in the squint of his eye. You suspect he's lying.
Enough! Enough! I'll not play pretend anymore. Karlak, you're going home in pieces if needs must. And you'll soon learn what it means to ally yourself with the likes of this garbage.
Avernus was never my home. It was my prison. I'm free now. And I'm never going back!
More heading there.
My turn. Want another? Jimmy on the go.
Fuck them. Fuck Thariel. I won't go back. I'm never going back. And if any of Mummy's little friends want to pick up where the others left off, they'll find nothing but a pile of ash. not big enough. Now get out before you get hurt. Now!
Is this your first time on the Sword Coast, Maisel?
Yes. It is much more alive than the Githyanki slates led me to believe.
Just wait till you see Baldur's Gate. You'll never want to leave. Whew. Had to let off a little steam after facing off with those Ignots. Granted, the fire's lasting a little longer than it should. How do I look? Careful, soldier. If I burn any hotter, I might explode. Hear that? Infernal engine for a heart. Lets me burn as hot as the hells. Seems to be running in overdrive since I left Avernus. Won't be seeing my mechanic anytime soon, so I'll just make the most of the extra heat. Just don't get too close, till I've found a way to calm it down. High pain tolerance, and a dynamic duo of truly shitty bosses. But it's a bit early in the game to be getting into tragic backstories. Let's save the Scar show for later, after we've worked up an appetite for tragedy. Meanwhile, I'll need to find someone who can tune up my engine sooner rather than later. Believe me when I say this thing is hot. The first time I faced down those paladins, they let slip there was an infernal mechanic in the area. A tiefling. He might be able to stabilize things, if I can find him. Thanking you. A tune-up would give this rust box of mine a new lease of life. The Blade of Frontiers. Thought I'd shaken you for good after the Mind Flare ship. But you just can't get enough of me, can you?
Karlach, Advocatus Diaboli, the stink of Avernus. The Devil's head, and yours. If you so much as...
A great fire roars through you, the fire of the first hell. You are the Blade of Frontiers, racing through the wastes of Avernus. Just ahead, a diabolical figure, red skin, single-curled horn, blazes with flame, bloodied great axe held high. He chases the fiend, ignited with rancor. She is an infernal war devil, a threat to the living, evil incarnate.
Your ally's a fraud, a soldier in the Archdevil Zariel's army. Either I cut her down, or she burns the Sword Coast to ash.
I've tried to tell you, I am not what you think I am. I'm...
Another vision. Karlach's blade raised, slicing through devils, Zariel's servants, as her eyes dart around, seeking escape. The man shudders with Karlach's desperation. She is a victim of the Blood War, not an agent of it.
By Baldur's helm, No! I will not be tricked!
You saw the truth. I may be an effective soldier, but I never wanted to serve Zariel. Legged it away from her the first chance I got.
And yet you served. No! Devils cannot be trusted.
Would you listen to sense? This doesn't have to end badly. For either of us. You know monsters, right? Better than anyone. Look into my eyes. Can't you see I'm not what you think?
Shit. You really are no devil, are you? I've been deceived.
Thank the gods. Thought I was gonna have to take your head.
You would have died in the attempt. But there have been enough threats today. Truce?
I'll do you one better. Allies. We're looking to get rid of these parasites for good. And ruin some bastards' days while we're at it. Sounds like your kind of venture.
I've not grown any tentacles yet, thank Baldur. But luck won't be on our side forever. Yes, you have my blade. Your leader willing, of course.
Well, soldier, what's the word?
I'm up for the challenge. You've just got to make a little space.
Hey!
Well met. And 1,000 sorries. I've pledged my life to protecting the meek from monsters. But tonight, I was the rampaging beast. I see the good in you, Karlach. I promise not to lose sight of it, even when the hells burn hottest.
The famous Blade of Frontiers in the flesh. Clever, this hero act you've got going.
Hero, blade, names strangers gave me. My friends call me Will.
Excellent. If we ever become friends, I'll know what to call you.
Glad Will saw sense. Even more glad he decided to stick around. Takes a pretty slick mover to track down old Karlach. Fair. But still, the man's got a reputation for being lethal with that blade. I'm glad it's on our side. Hey, soldier. The year, 10 air. The place, a sleepy little town called Baldur's Gate. Our hero, Karlach, a knock-knee delinquent from the outer city with everything to give and nothing to lose. I was a kid looking for a way to fill my days and make some cash when I fell into the wrong crowd. Worked for a guy I respected. A lot. Turns out the feeling wasn't mutual. Through the jigs and the reels, he made a deal with Zariel behind my back. You know Zariel, right? Archdevil of Avernus. She put this thing in my chest and set me to work. Well, to war. I learned quick how to stay alive. And the engine served me when it came to killing devils. 10 years of that. The stories I could tell. Guy named Gortash. Politician. Inventor. One of these wheeler-dealer types who seems to have a finger in every pie. I guess I was naive to think everything he got up to was above board. What did I know? I saw a job, a good job, with people I liked, doing work I was good at. Sometimes I'm jealous of that girl. Ugh, to feel so invincible again. Gives me energy, power. But you've seen it in action. Very hard to control. If I'm excited at all, angry, nervous, delighted, enticed, I burn hot. Hot enough to burn anyone who gets close. I try not to think about it. I still think about it constantly, but, you know, I try. One of these days, I'll sort the whole infernal affair out, get myself cooled off, start making up for lost time. But not today. What's the story? First things first, I need to get this engine tuned up. Thing's powerful, but it's been feeling volatile ever since I left the Hells. Can't be too hard to find an infernal mechanic round here, right? Depends on the type. Ice Devils hate an inferno, but that's an easy one. Orthons love projectiles. What they don't love is getting their bombs lobbed right back in their faces. Demons, on the other hand, every demon is absolutely singular. You can't ever think you've got them typed out. Sharp instincts, sharp weapons, and a knack for improvisation. That's the only way to survive them. Anyway, what were we talking about? Funny you should ask. I was just thinking about what would have become of us without that Nautiloid. I mean, I know where I'd be. Trapped in Avernus still, with the Blade of Frontiers on my tail. But what about you? Lucky you. Sometimes I think I'd be better off indulging in a bit of light oblivion. Well, we may as well make some good memories mixed in with the body horror, huh? Soldier? You really did it, huh? Not worried about adding more illithid into the mix? Well, what can I say? You look fine, smell fine, seem fine. And yet, you're more mind flayer than ever. Hope you don't expect me to follow your lead in this. Do they? I'm not sure either of us can say one way or the other. We don't know what the costs might be just yet. Good. And you know, keep an eye on yourself. If you start feeling loopy, shout. We don't know what these tadpoles are capable of. What can I do you for?
So, we're traveling with the famed Blade of Frontiers. I feel safer already.
The Githyanki people have a word for men like the Blade of Frontiers. Shalak. Roughly translated, idealist do-gooder. Or better yet, benevolent burden. His confidence is an asset. His pursuit of valor, not so much. Speak.
Oakfather's blessings to you. I studied one up close. Closer than most would care to be to those things. A drow attacked me and I defended myself. Afterwards, I was able to examine the tadpole that emerged. Hideous, but fascinating. Like nothing else in nature, I'm glad to say. Hopefully. I've chosen a successor as first druid, Francesca of the High Forest. I sent a bird to summon her. If only everyone said that. The Grove needs to move beyond the mistakes of the past. What it needs is an unknown quantity. An outsider who can enforce the Oakfather's teachings without bias. This is why I chose Francesca. She will restore simplicity and purity to the Grove in my absence. Indeed. Perhaps. But we'll need to get closer before I can put my theory into practice. Put it from your mind for now. Once we near the curse, then there will be more to be said. Well, there's hardly anyone left to share the responsibility with. Few who witnessed the fall of Moonrise still draw breath. What Ketheric Thorm unleashed is not something that nature can undo by itself. I must do what I can. I studied the Shadow Curse for years, but to truly understand it and stop it, I must reach its source. Miss it? Oh dear, no. It's a terrible burden. Takes you away from nature and forces you to deal with others' problems and personalities. Be wary of anyone who actually wants such a role, I say. Likely they don't understand it, or they have ill intent. I'm just glad to be out here amidst the Oakfather's creations. There are few things that are too strong for me. And cast those regrets aside. You did not get caught up in the moment. You seized it. In other circumstances, I would have done the same. A bad impression. Impossible. With such stimulating company? Never better. You wish to speak?
You've been witness to a pantomime, I'm sorry to say. And I've played my part all too poorly. It means that a reckoning's coming. And I'll be the one to pay up. One night soon, when we make camp, the veil will be lifted, and I'll pay my penance. You're not in any danger, I promise. I can't say the same about me. Welcome to the League of the Lone Eye, my friend. Not to minimize the pain of Volo's poking and prodding, but I promise, you'll be used to the prosthesis in no time. Besides, I find it gives one an air of mystique. No one's more intriguing than a woman with one eye. He brings to mind a story. The Devil with the Silver Tongue. An old fairy tale my father read to me. The kind with a hero, a villain, and a moral. A farmer made a deal with the devil, so the story goes. In exchange for the farmer's dearest fruit, the devil granted him a bottomless coin purse. The farmer's dearest fruit, naturally, was no apple nor peach, but his beloved daughter. We can learn a lot from fairy tales, don't you think? Refuse him, no matter how tempting the offer, no matter how delicious the feast he lays out for you. The cost will be too great. That's because you still have hope. But when he becomes your last hope, remember this. He'll require of you only what you're least ready to part with, and then require more still. You might think you'd give up anything for a cure, but the devil won't take just anything. He'll take everything. My father once said, "One does not pursue a champion's life. One merely answers its call." So it was for me. I was hunting near the Cloakwood when I heard it. A child crying out from a lone farmstead. I found him in the fields, flanked by goblins. His mother's corpse bled into the soil next to him. I don't remember much of the battle, but I remember drying the boy's tears after. No, but he named me friend, and that meant the world. But what of the others? The children never saved, the cries never heard. In the boy's tears, I finally saw the suffering wrought by the villains of the wild. The frontiers demanded a blade, and so I heeded. Baldur's Gate, born and raised, the only son of a single father. He wanted one life for me. I chose another. We haven't spoken since I left the city. A classic drama, a staunch father and his rebellious son. Better heard from the bard's lips than mine. A most vicious one, in fact. It's made from pure bloodstone, carved from the Galena Mountains just north of the Moonsea. A reminder that sometimes blood must be shed and sacrifices must be made. But that story is reserved for lifetime friends and calmer days. By all means. I think that unknowable powers come with unknowable consequences. I can't say I'm not curious, but once you've taken a Lithid by the talon, there's no telling how deep into the abyss it might drag you. All right. What else is on your mind? The Blade of Frontiers at your calling.
I've known a few warlocks in my time. Talented, of course, though sometimes too eager to listen to the devils on their shoulders. Comes with the territory, unfortunately. What's on your mind?
The dog wags his tail, a small bag clenched between his teeth. He gives in and surrenders his find to you. Scratch's tongue lolls out happily, his tail wagging even faster.
The Blade of Frontiers. Let's hope Will lives up to his name. We'll need all the help we can get. Very serious of you. But go ahead. It's strange. I've been dwelling on what I told you before about wanting to become a Dark Justiciar. But perhaps I should be content with my lot. I'm already blessed to have you at my side, after all.